life and my hands and my physical and my body and my spiritual. It's all in yours. You already wrote, you already know. And I thank you for that, Father, to give me this stillness and this calmness in this difficult time that you have me in here, where I have a judge from a circuit court judge who is try to suppress my constitutional right of speech, freedom of speech, and literally told me to shut up in a courtroom. So I have a legal bone to pick with this judge, and this is a documentary. You, Judge Vandenberg, I pointed out you, and so I'm not in fear to speak to you directly as I have in your kangaroo court that you run. So this is another evidentiary stream. Please keep the comments to this subject matter of a corrupt judge who's targeted myself, and I will be filing for a change of venue. I've spoken with Abigail and do have witness, and she does agree that this is a conflict of interest involving this county, and now obviously this judge has been involved since the beginning. So thank you, Father, for giving me the strength to stand up against this man who's just a man like myself, not above me. You are my judge, and be my mediator, Shiloh. So thank you, Father, for this, sending Shiloh and allowed to teach, continue, and hopefully it will be out on this internet and not behind bars, because they're trying to imprison me as they threw you, Christ, in a jail cell because you went against the perverted law that they'd perverted your father's 613 statutes, commandments. So it's unconstitutional, not the original, and I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form that a crime by myself or my son in the case, the 180 hours, this is all unnecessary. The judge has been very aware. I have been trying to get a hold of his district attorney. He and his attorney talk often, I'm sure of it. So he is just as negligent for damages and culpable too for damages to my physical body and my son and my daughter, as well as my animals, and the property here at High Desert Faith and Truth Ministries was destroyed by the state of Oregon with their special weapons and tactics SWAT police raid on this property that is ministry and a safe haven, a sanctuary place that I provided for my son. I only ran into problems when we tried to get his daughter a shower, and she had been here for a couple weeks. We were really trying very hard to do everything we could, but they're the ones, Ted Martin and Judge Vandenberg and Michael Taylor in the sheriff's office, who pushed this into the county, into court. And I tried to resolve this without any, at a grassroots. I have evidence, again, all cellular data will show and convict, or I'll go to prison, or it's all in the hands of the Father. So I thank you, Father, for giving this flesh the strength to stand up and put my finger in that judge's face and tell him before I left the courtroom, and you kept me in here a week illegally. So I'm not, this flesh, he says, worry not who can take your flesh, only worry who can take your flesh and your soul. So I've never threatened of any kind of violence or taking of arms or ever, but they brought arms and permanently damaged, scarred my body and my eye and my ears and my hearing and my son, and all physical damage or and emotional damage is another thing. I still, it is what it is. My bone to pick here is with, if you're listening to this, Judge Vandenberg, is with you personally. And I've tried to call you personally out on this as you stand above me and that telling you you're a criminal, because you are. And I have proof with your district attorney, Ted Martin, that you're involved in these illegal actions, dereliction of your duty as to the bar. So I've already contacted the bar about you and your district attorney and your actions and your dealings in this case. So the Department of Justice, you made me make it federal at this point because you wouldn't. So we'll see, because again, we'll see how far this goes, because I do have Abigail. Remember, you know who Abigail is, correct? So this hopefully is in appellate court by now, and in a Supreme Court has, because of conflict of interest, because they've targeted myself, my son, and my daughter, illegally detained her body. That's all I've spoken that on this is about Judge Vandenberg, and he's very aware of that because he's and Ted Martin. That last stream was about Ted, the district criminal attorney in this Lake County, Oregon here, who is very aware of all this evidence but keeps running from it. So Judge Vandenberg, me and you, this is my bone to pick. I've tried to tell you to drop this case, and you told me I have witnessed Abigail from Lake County. Remember, everybody else was there in that courtroom that day, that you would drop this case in this month of November. So this is a personal against all evidentiary streams will have to be looked at. This case is set for trial in January, which they won't be able to even do by January of next year. The following 26, I don't think they could even have this case prepared, maybe even by 27, maybe even 28. I think more by 29 is when they could actually bring with 4 years of evidence starting back with the Tony Karsten rapist that you have obviously very aware of. Judge Vandenberg, you criminal who has a criminal rapist running around in your county, and you allowed this menace to society. I've had phone calls to the circuit court. I've had phone calls to the elected Sheriff Michael Taylor, who you do business with on a daily, and your district attorney, criminal Ted Martin, who I have involved and know that, again, the evidence will speak for itself. So this evidentiary stream is about between the Vandenberg judge, criminal of Lake County, Oregon, who we'll see if he'll keep his word, because if you honored, your word, you said in open court with witness that this case would be dropped. Abigail, and I'd already spoken with Abigail, and she said, I told her if I have to summons her, I'd apologize, I have to get her, but she said that was all right because she did witness you say that in November, remember my words exactly to you. No, I want to know oh, you're close. You're getting close. And then that was that 6 months in November, correct? So will you honor your word, or will you continue your criminal activity? I have witnessed. I said I would. The trial, you know who Abigail is, correct? Yes, you do. You deal with her on it. She's the one who deals with all your. She said that she's never seen a case like this. Let's see if the cellular data says that. Not. How come she knows more about this case? You haven't even said the word Tony Karsten one single time. So they're not. Everybody who was there that day will be a witness after the summons. Every one of them. Will you keep your word on what you said, or will you be a liar in an open court? So I think you'll be a liar. I don't think you'll keep your word. I don't think you're honorable. So I don't call you honorable, because you're not honoring your word. Your word was in open court with witness by Abigail that it would all be dropped by this month here. So you set it for trial. Is that going to get you out of it? Because it was set for trial. Now that I have an attorney, well, guess what? That attorney quit. So what are you going to do now? Checkmate. I got you. I'll be calling Monday. I'll be calling your office, Ted Martin, district attorney, the feds again, Department of Justice again, my local governor's office, who I've already replaced all these calls with the Department of Justice, the bar again. I'll be speaking with the bar about you, Judge Vandenberg. You had a chance to, in open court. Well, I tried at the very beginning to tell you to let me out of jail and not keep me in there more than 7 days. That was illegal, and you did that as well. So this is a personal stream, evidentiary stream about your criminal behavior. Judges go to jail just like you, Judge Vandenberg. You're not higher above me. Just because you sit above that doesn't mean that you're above this law. You have to enforce, and I understand my right to freedom of speech. So, you told me to shut up in court, and I let's the cellular data call that I told Abigail, you tell that judge, don't you ever infringe on my freedom of speech ever again. My First Amendment, and to assert his Fifth Amendment. You cannot suppress my right to freedom to speak up. As you had your thug officer, as I try to walk in that building, tell me, you want to go back to jail? You want to go back in there? Trying to suppress my freedom of speech as well. So I will not stand down. You know, your evidence and your right of discovery, you looked at this, you know this, Judge Vandenberg, is that I this anonymous tip would fight. Let's take the word fight. Is there a logistical fight? Can you speak with your mouth? Is this all physical? You're the only one who sent your thugs with your district attorney, with your SWAT team in the state of Oregon to ruin, physically destroy this ministry property and myself. That's separated all of us. You did that, Judge Vandenberg. Well, my father did. He made you do it. Just okay. He did. So, you know, I'm a teacher and I'm a pastor. I'm a minister above all. You don't have any authority as far as my judgment. You can throw me in prison, whatever they choose to do with this flesh the Father created, and it's above all. And so I'm not, he's sovereign. He has this not sovereign immunity like a law enforcement. He writes all things. So I'm not in fear of anything that happens, to anything that's said in any way, shape, or form. All things after his own counsel in his own pleasure. And so he's my mediator. He will speak with the Father who is the Most High. So back to you, Judge, who's just part of this bar. I've contacted the bar about your behavior, and they're very well, and I'll be contacting them again Monday. If you've gotten this, I've already called probably again. So I do believe you will be disbarred. Criminals like yourself, who I told you had a week to, and then remember, you should have, at that point, should have dropped it, because remember Dan Spencer, you have two public defenders down here in Lake County, had represented Elijah Werner, my son, who had done his 180 hours that you know. All right, well, remember, Dan, he represented me. That is, you know that. You're a judge. How you raised your hand. I got a picture of you in this banner of this front with your hand up. How could you allow an attorney to represent two of the same? Did Dan Spencer represent Adriana, my daughter, and his wife as well? That would be three. You can't do two. You cannot have the attorney on the same case. That's co-counsel, co-defendant. You can't, that's illegal. Judge, you allowed that to happen in your open courtroom. And then Dan Spencer pleaded that he knew he had made a very big mistake by both, as he was aware who he was dealing with, obviously, when he looked into who I was, and when, he made that mistake, and pleaded that he was not representing me at that point, as he already did. He was standing and realized his mistake and was representing the Constitution at that point, wanted to realize he truly made a mistake. So, Judge, how did you allow that to continue? Because he pleaded that because I don't have a criminal record, right, and I'm not a flight risk, that I own and pay taxes in this county, the county you reside over, this Lake County, as the circuit court judge, that I wasn't, and to let me out because I was no criminal record, not a flight risk. I was a tax-paying, honorably discharged veteran. That if you actually remember, he came pleaded again. He represented me multiple times. This is illegal, Judge, and you allowed this in your courtroom. You allowed this in your court. This co-defendant, co-counsel in the same case is illegal, and you know. So Dan Spencer, I'm sure, will be disbarred too. You allowed this, Judge. You did, Vandenberg. You allowed this in your courtroom to co-counsel myself and my son in the same case. Did Dan Spencer? I have paperwork that shows Dan Spencer stopped being Elijah's attorney, but at that time he was both representing me, and he was appointed to Elijah. You can't have him, and you know that. Then you continued, and then Dan Spencer pleaded to you to let me out, and you still went on with your criminal behavior with Ted Martin. And he told you, remember, he pleaded all the cases with the circuit court, I believe it was the Ninth Circuit, about how even all the counties and every county in Oregon is letting people out after 7 days without, if you cannot, under their Fifth Amendment, the Miranda rights. Remember, he went over all this. Dan Spencer went over, you have to, 7 days, we don't have any counsel for him. I'm kind of standing in now for the Constitution. Oh, crap, I represented him and him. He came in and said, remember, he was freaked. He did a lot of homework, didn't he? Said a lot of things about why you were illegally keeping me at that point, and you were risking the case being thrown out by keeping me for more than a week. Remember all this guy? I don't know how you had forgotten this, but he co-counsel will lose his, as you will be taken down from your position because your dereliction of duty to allow co-counsel the defendant in the same case is illegal. This drops the case immediately, and then you kept me for an extra whole week. And remember, he said in Klamath, as you appointed the attorney, because you only had two, eventually you had a third who just recently quit. Phil Studenberg quit. He didn't ever actually, we cannot show he did anything other than I called for requested discovery right of evidence that I've been telling you the whole time. Do you have any Mirandized rights of me on docu or body cam? Remember, Ted Martin dropped this case. You don't have any under, I know my right to discovery. I know under suppression of evidence, I've seen you cannot produce any body cam footage of me being actually even Mirandized. That will get the case dropped. Whereas under right of, I've seen it. You don't have it. I know it. Do you have satellite? Let's see if the satellite footage would. Nobody has it. And I told you that in open court right there, Judge Vandenberg. You're a criminal. I said, drop this. I was telling Ted Martin, you're wasting the taxpayers' money. You have to Mirandize me. If you're going to cost my, I know my First Amendment freedom, I know to be quiet. Remember, were you offended, Judge, that I told you just please assert yours and them too, because I have the right to tell you what's going on. You know, remember Phil Studenberg, you got pissed the last time I was in there and told me to shut up because I told them the first time to be quiet, that whatever lady was, and stop trampling on my First Amendment rights in court. I have the right to speak up. I didn't have counsel at that time. Oh, you're my counsel. No, they weren't. No, they weren't even, they hadn't even gotten the approval. But once they got the approval, and I underwrite a discovery, and the one who's requesting under this discovery saw your evidence against me and my son and my you never had warrant for Adriana Massey's arrest. You're a criminal and you know that. You should be taken down. Personally, you have to show you know that as a judge. Raise your hand. Probable cause. Ted Martin knows this. Probable cause. RAS, reasonable articulate suspicion. If you're going to convict or put a secret indictment and bring somebody in under discovery, you're secret, right? I know all this. You know, you have to show that probable cause to under Mirandize Fifth Amendment, a cost. Take them into custody, arrest their body. That's illegal to accost somebody's body unless you can show probable cause. And under warrant, you have to show under written, you have to present, you don't even have a warrant for her arrest, let alone show right of discovery. You're going to tell me under two felonies, you're going to bring her in under secret indictment under two Class C felonies and a criminal conspiracy, and just magically show up with the state of Oregon and not even be listed on your criminal. Judge and Ted, I know my rights, okay? You done mess with the wrong man who knows his rights. I said if it backed into a corner, I would strike. You are right, I said that. I did, because I teach that as a pastor. I teach this New Testament, not of the old, of vengeance of God, sending war and men with guns and battle as you did, Judge, to my house. You said physical. I said meek. I said, I need communication. I need resolution, not revolution, men with guns. You, Judge Vandenberg, sent men with guns. You, your district attorney, with your special weapons and tactics, physically caused damage to my body, to my animals, to my son. I'm sure he's suffering right now. And talk to him in 6 months, Judge. You put that no contact order against his wife, and you don't even have warrant to arrest her without secret. Get out of here. This will drop this case. She has the largest criminal case against you out of all three of us. I have no record. She had no record. My son, yes, convicted, and yes, but I guarantee I can clear him of the 180 hours with the cellular data. We already done the evidence on that. So Elijah will be cleared. Elijah Werner is not guilty. He already did his 180 hours. We don't need to go into that right now, Judge Vandenberg. We need to go why you're going to be disbarred because you kept me illegally a week. Your warrant with Ted Martin, your criminal district attorney, signed without any, and not even listed anywhere on the warrant, and charge her with 2 felonies and a misdemeanor that is not even, that's going to make you so culpable for her damages, my damages, and my son's damages, and all the extra hours, yourself personally will be culpable. You are part of this. You had to reside over this county, and this was going on in your county, and this district attorney was like, you were back and forth with him. Remember, Dan Spencer was telling him to let him out. You are going to risk this case, Judge. That was Ted. Why didn't you listen to him, Judge? Remember, Dan Spencer was saying, look, hey, in all the other counties, they're letting people out that don't have counsel. You can't co-counsel. Dan, shouldn't you be speaking up for me, Judge? Why did you allow that right there? That proves how criminal you run your courtroom. You're the presiding under the bar. So let's go back to what's going on in this circuit court in Lake County. Vandenberg, you knew as co-defendant, you can't do that. You allowed that, and then you had Dan Spencer, who realized that he screwed up, say, hey, let this guy out. You still continue to keep. He said in Klamath County, the county over, they're letting him out in a week. Let this guy out. No other county are they keeping people. Remember all these other circuit court? He's like, well, there's something, but it's still, you're keeping him illegally. Let him, and you still just, what's going on? It's targeting. You don't like the fact that I point out that you have criminal officers in your county, and I have for years, 4 years. You think you could sweep something under the judge. You're not intimidating me. Luke 12:11, they'll throw you without counsel in front of their magistrates, their men in their black robes, just like you, their synagogues. They've done this before. He's the authority. I've already told you that, okay? And you will be without counsel. This counsel that you just gave me from Lake County just quit. So what are you going to do, Judge? I'm going to summons Abigail for you in court saying you would drop this case in November. Will you keep your word, or will you be a criminal judge and continue to lie and let all this criminal behavior go on, and you just keep getting, what are you, sovereign immunity? You're above the law. I think that's what's going on here. Judges go to jail every day, just like you, Judge. So enjoy your shiny bracelets. I hope I'm there to be eyewitness to you turning around, putting your hands behind your back and being put in prison as you can find my body without warrant, can find my son's wife. You part of that. Culpable. See, you without warrant, you don't show. State of Oregon did not present and show RAS probable cause, PC, for her arrest. You have to do that with warrant to accost somebody under the Mirandizing and show and read them. I want to see if you Mirandize Elijah. I want to see if you Mirandize Adriana. Did you? You didn't. Let's satellite. Let's cellular data. Why didn't when I asked? All right, I gotta let this go. Anyway, just gonna hold on. So, anyways, Judge, you're a criminal, and I can prove you're for letting criminal behavior because you yourself are allowing criminal behavior. Dan was telling you to let me out. So what? I'm speaking up for my son. I got proof he did his 180 hours. That was the terms of one call could have done this. This could have been cleared up with one. He pleaded you, please do not send men with guns. Culpable for his mental stability. He'd already done it. I can prove all this. There's no doubt that 100% cellular data will prove that Elijah is innocent, and actually already remember his terms of release was to be released from your county lake into the county of Lane. He had to complete all the community service. This is, it's hard to believe that you allowed this to go this far because you had all this evidence. You had, it's all about evidence, right, Judge? You're not honorable. You're a disgrace to the bar. People like you get locked up in this country, you know. Yeah. Judges just like you, you're not above anybody as far as, you know, the law. You have to, in your courtroom, you allowed that co-counsel, Dan Spencer, who will probably be disbarred as well, to co-defend it, provide legal counsel for me, and him telling you let him out, and you kept me there illegally. So, yeah, I don't think you'll go on much longer in your job because I've already called the Department of Justice federal, already called the bar. I didn't want to do any of this. Remember, Judge, I tried for how many years to settle this out of court. You pushed it into the courts under your SWAT warrant, who physically caused my shot. I got shot in the face. Maybe you want to see this, Judge. Have you ever seen this, Judge? I show this to you, there, Judge. Circuit court, appellate court, whoever's watching this evidence. This is why I have almost this same image in my burnt, scarred into my retina with all this little flash, because at 45 seconds, go look at the warrant. Criminal Judge Vandenberg, I'm just straight to your face, call you criminal. Look at this warrant that you sent the state of Oregon out to this house, and please, I want cellular data. I want evidence. Who said from the state of Oregon they were going to come out here and unalive me? They bragged at the same restaurants that I stood up against you and your sheriff, Michael Taylor, for not standing with the businesses and held a protest in your county against the elected Sheriff Michael Taylor, who, by the way, I've called how many times? Let evidence find if Michael Taylor ever even called the county resident who resided in this county just come have a conversation before any of it was physical damage was caused to his. You hit me at 45 seconds with your SWAT and special weapons and tactics signed by Ted Martin with this is a burnt into my retina. You caused physical damage to my eye. Now sometimes that, because I'm starting, it's been a while, I think I see, this is ridiculous. This was unnecessary. How about the resident that called Ted Martin, your district attorney, and said that was unnecessary? That man was just asserting his First Amendment. You're just pissed off because he's a veteran, honorably, and he was holding, during the corona, he was very active with his first. He never called for any violence. He held a protest, peaceful. He had a prayer there at the protest in front of your police. Are you personally have a vendetta against this man? Yeah, you do. It's obvious. You burnt my you caused physical damage. My son pleaded, no guns, no police, please let's resolve this. You burnt, my retina is burnt, and you literally shot, your 6 of these entered into this house, broke out my fog, caused the physical, you, Judge Vandenberg. You see this? Did you have to sit in your house after sitting 2 weeks in jail and take 2 weeks? The first day, Judge, that I got in here, I woke up the next day, I couldn't open up my hands because I was so tear gassed for 2 weeks as my animals and all that stuff I was pleading in your warrant. My animals, guys, stop, never did I come out with a weapon. Your evidence, Judge, with your thing is I'm some violent man. If I'm backed into a corner, as I teach on my channel, you have the right to protect yourself. That's silly. And that's just your evidence is sorry. You're going to go to prison. I'm hoping to be there the day to eyewitness you turn around and get the shiny bracelets on there, Judge Vandenberg. Seriously, my animals, there were kittens in here. 6 of these shot into this house. They took, I don't know where the rest of them went. Okay. The tear gas canisters, the flash bang where you literally ruined my vision. You're culpable, Judge Vandenberg. Ted Martin, that is burnt into I'm laying there in your facility wondering, the lights are like, what the hell is going on with, why is this, all this hair and all this stuff in I keep rubbing my eye thinking, I've forgotten that 45 seconds, you're all, Elijah, are you okay? Elijah, you're okay? Bam! Right in my face, man. Who threw that? Come forward. Who is the man that threw this at me? This wasn't shot like from this canister, shot all my windows out. It took me 2 weeks. You have to have a professional, and you know damn good well that you have to hire a cleaning company. I'm off grid to take one of these, the clean this out of your house. I sat in here for 2 weeks, clean every day. I dusted this out. I got tear gassed. My animals did. My poor freaking dog had a leak. He couldn't take it. Somebody came and he came back still suffering. He's still suffering. My vision, you ruined, permanently scarred me. Permanently caused physical damage. I was never called for any physical violence one single time. I will legally fight for my son to the death till I die. You took that 2 things and that's your evidence against me, Judge Vandenberg, you criminal. Your SWAT team, your special weapons and tactics. I was asking for you and your county and your cooperation of your officers to help the businesses out here. I'm going to get shot and convicted and thrown in a prison because I'm standing up for this country and this county. As a veteran, I was told to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The domestic enemy is you, Judge. You're culpable, and your district attorney, this was unnecessary. 45 seconds, they were tossing, going physical. Never once Look at the live stream, Judge. You got no evidence. I've never called for violence. You could have come to my door. What about that resident that called Ted Martin, the district attorney, and said that was unnecessary? You got a chip on your shoulder. The guy was active during the COVID. And now you're targeting him and his son. That's ridiculous. My son being targeted. Not my poor son. He made a mistake. But he's the only man out of 5 to do any time. The criminal, convicted rapist, Tony Karsten, runs around in your county, Judge Vandenberg, a rapist, and you allow this to go on. Of course, the dad, for the residents, for the country, to allow people know in other parts of the country that there are similar counties with the same stinking problems. People like Tony Karsten, the rapist, that you keep running from, Judge. Tony Karsten. Maybe they'll send you where he's at right now. Never has he been convicted, to my knowledge, of these crimes that these minor child, all teenagers. The man's a convicted 41-year-old mastermind. You got him under Lily Frank, and you know who that is, Judge. I'm pointing out that your probation and parole office is corrupt. Is that why you're targeting me? Because I held a peaceful, which I have under the First Amendment, the right to peacefully assemble, redress grievances. My grievance is stand with these businesses and support them. Is that why you're shooting me with your special weapons and tactics, state of Oregon? This just used to be between me and the county. Anybody's a witness to this. This county brings in the state to execute a warrantless by my son's daughter, my son's wife, my daughter, and cost her body illegally, doesn't show any probable cause or have any reasonable suspicion. That's all you, Judge. That's all. Hey, look, let me just go right back to you directly, you criminal. I cannot. Remember, turn around, put your hand behind your back. I hope your rights are gone. You get thrown in. You put me in a cage. You put my son in a cage. You put my daughters. What the hell are you doing? That was proof you came to shoot me that day. That's what these businesses said. The ones I stood with the bring out the SWAT team, protect them. Protect these businesses. Don't let OSHA come out here and shut them down if we lose one more plate. Remember, there was all dress grievances. This is a change of venue. Hopefully this ain't even in your thing. Hopefully you ain't even here. Hopefully you've already been convicted and you ain't even, you will under right of discovery get to see the evidence against you, Judge Vandenberg, you criminal, and Dan Spencer sits there, let this man out. You got nothing as my animals sit here and suffer for, you're never going to get tear gassed that day. Whatever, I don't want any physical damage to you. I hope you just sit there and have the rest of your life in a cell to think about your criminal behavior, because I'm sure much, much more about remember, I got more evidence about Tom Rourke and this potential, the death of this officer and these illicit drugs that his wife uses and all. I'm not going to shut up. This whole county knows. I can't wait till people come out from outside this county that don't fear you, come out here and investigate this town and get this stuff cleaned up, because this is a beautiful town. At the top of the high rim of the Great Desert, at the edge, it says the Dark Sky Sanctuary, and we need to get rid of people darkness like you. Though you will walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Talking about you, Judge, the men in the black robes, Luke 12:11, you shall be without counsel. They will throw you in front of their black robes, magistrates. You, Judge, the Father tells me this, and you're without counsel. Because remember, your counsel from Lake County just quit on me. So will you keep your word? Will you drop this case? You said Abigail's witness and everybody in the courtroom by November. And remember, I said not just me, all of it, all of them. Adriana, my son, because he's not guilty of anything, and myself, or we're going to take this to the box. Tony Karsten, 4 years ago, let's go. Take it to the box. Maybe did the attorney quit on me? Because I said, if you say these 2 words, plea agreement, then I'll say these 2 words, like Donald Trump said, you're fired. Yeah, I'm not taking this. I'm taking this to the box. Remember, my son, I believe, is still not allowing himself to be legally convicted because there's no evidence to prove that. I can actually 100% prove that by even cellular data. Plus, remember, Judge, you will be culpable. Maybe your estate will be dissolved as you sit in prison, because Elijah is 181, 2, 3, 4, 5, anywhere up to past 180, you're liable for. And any culpable physical damages to any one of us that have been involved under your county. Remember, he was released from Lake Delane County under the conditions that he completed 180 hours. And that's what this whole case is about. Tony Karsten, the guy who got raped, the guy who sat. No, he didn't spend a day in prison. Why, Judge, did you allow that this menace to society to go around and lie when you had me, myself, pointing out to your officers, calling your county, telling you about this, telling Lily Frank, hey, what the hell is going on here? Why is he in jail, my son, and why is this rapist allowed to run around in the county? Something's going on here. You guys are corrupt. How is this even possible? You'll never be gassed, but maybe your estate will be dissolved, and I will take every donation and donate it to this ministry. I don't think the Father's going to allow anything to get in the way of this ministry. Hopefully he'll continue to allow, not put me behind. You can't do nothing to me. Nobody can. If the Father wants me behind bars or in some kind of cage, I will teach the gospel to Oligos or continue on the highest mountain, north, south, east, and west from the net worldwide. Will continue to tell this beautiful coming that we are not under this law, not lawless of flesh, that he is our Redeemer, and that if people come against us with lawless law, that he'll judge us. Yeah, love it. It's a meat covenant. It's not a strikeout and fight back. It's not. I'm not lashing out at you, Judge. I just would like to see the dissolving of your assets and your bond so that Elijah could be compensated for all the years that he's been doing that. 181, 2, 3, 4, any hour that he worked is he's an indentured servant to probation. And I 100% prove and can prove and witness will prove multiple times over and over and over and over and over and over again that the 180 hours were completed. It was the terms of his release to leave Lake Tulane County. It's not even that you neglected to, because there's more than that. It was targeting of his dad and continuing to make him punish the son. And that's proof. And I'm sure that the circuit court will, in the appellate court, hopefully this brothers, I don't want, if you're listening as a witness to this evidentiary stream at this point, for it to be dropped. That would waste like ripping Christ down from a tree. Well, okay, maybe some attorney would get in caught. If they want to 100% drop all of our cases, but I will still pursue not a vengeance, but a suit against Ted Martin, because I don't think that by the time I believe what they're trying to do in this county, Lake County, this judge, which he kind of was, they're going back and forth like the other day where, he did say that he would let me out in this month. Okay, I have Abigail as my witness. I already told her, I'll summons you in court, Abigail. I don't want to do this. But you did hear that judge say that this case would be dropped. Well, they've appointed me some counsel who never showed up, who never did anything, and now the guy just up and quit. So there is none. So will you keep your word, Judge Vandenberg, or will you be putting on shiny bracelets? I think it's going to be the shiny bracelets for you, Judge. You're not a higher authority. You obviously are a dereliction of duty. You could have made one call to probation, as I did. You could have looked in the records. You could have looked at, instead, you just think because you're such a Billy whatever, you're higher than somebody that you can throw your weight around, and you can't. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, men in black robes, just like you magistrates, and you are without counsel, do not worry about thought or what you shall say. I will give you the answer. So I'm only when I come into your, that's why I won't stand down to you. Remember time before you said, would you like to take a seat? And I did sit down. I'm trying with you, Judge, but you're a criminal. So you want to keep throwing your weight around. This time, remember when I came and sat there and I would not stand down to you? You didn't even offer me a seat this time. I'm still kind of a little, this and this is overkill with your SWAT, special weapons and tactics. I'm about 99 certain I am a reconstructionist. The reason why you did not show warrant, probable cause, and did you even have that secret indictment for Adriana Massey, because she was not listed under that accosting of her body under all her constitutional rights. How about her 14th Amendment? How about her 4th Amendment to be secure in the house's papers, persons, and so you can't arrest her persons unless you show probable cause. You came here to shoot me, or not you, but you spent like the state of Oregon, who Lavoy Finicum went out and finished off the dirty work for the county. Remember Lavoy? He was going to go over, what was it, to John Day, and the state of Oregon came in and shot. That was the agreement out here. Judge, I'm on to you. I know this because these people in these restaurants that I asked you, well, Michael Taylor, your elected sheriff here, to stand with these businesses. Come on, man. We want to stay open. We don't want to flatten the curve. This is the second time. If we lose any more, have to send all this stuff out to go and all this extra paper products and limited hours, we're going to have to shut this business, shutter it. 2 to 3 million small businesses already did. We're trying to keep in, and I asked you to support, well, not you, Michael Taylor. So Ted Martin's you're pissed about this still, aren't you? Because you never did stand with the business. Are you pissed that I protest? Not you, Judge. Well, yeah, I can tell. You told me to shut up. And you were beat red the last time I was in court. And you trampled on my First Amendment rights. You tell me to shut up. And I'm sitting there telling me you don't have that because this attorney that just up and quit, will you keep your words or be a lying criminal? I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping not, well, whatever, it's all after the father. You're in the hands, Judge. You better start having some face-to-face time with the Father. I'm not seeking any vengeance against you. I will go after your bond and everybody involved in this. That's not vengeance, so none of you can serve. I know the law. Most of the time when an officer that you have some of these criminals running around, Sam Birch, Lance Brown, Tom Rourke, and they get in trouble, they just move around to a different county and stay in that line. I know I've been teaching for people like you who run these criminals around to sue their bond. Like a contractor, if they keep messing up, they can't, you're not trying to take their life. I'm not trying to take your life from you, Judge. I'm not. I just don't ever want you to see it operate in a capacity over anybody. You don't have anything over any, you're not, your judgment is clouded. You don't act in rights, constitutional, you break them in an open court. Will your word mean that you raise your hand for the bar? So where's your allegiance? I know where your allegiance is, but will you keep your word witnessed in an open circuit court? You telling me with Abigail and everybody in there that in this month, this would be dropped. Will you keep your word? I don't think so. I think evidence will show. I think we'll be past this on this potential evidentiary live stream. Uh-oh, no more lights. I'm off grid, or I'm just a pastor who lives off the grid and out in the desert. So you'll have to get over your visuals. It is what it is. Hold on, we'll put some more light on the subject. Appreciate everybody here of witnessing this, to just be a witness to what I'm talking about. I have been targeted. Myself has been targeted. My son, my daughter. This happens, brothers and sisters. The poorest counties throughout the United States have more rapists, murderers, and pedophiles released into these. So this isn't an isolated type of event. This happens throughout. We have many judges that go to jail. So I will not quit. Remember, my words, my exact is I will fight legally, not with arms, never did draw to till I die, till the death. So that was not a threat of violence. And that's what they're going to use against me. If backed in a corner, I will shoot. No, they shot first. I've never shot. They tear gassed me with 6 of these things. I'm hoping that everybody that shot these will lose their bonds as well, brothers and sisters. Do you understand? I hope they'll lose their bonds. I don't want vengeance after anybody, brothers. I don't even want to sue the county because that will cause the taxpayer to have to pay. Taxpayer, that sucks. These people are a taxpayer. When these people F up, guys, mess up, the taxpayer pays. Doesn't that suck? Let's just stop for a minute. Judge, just go enjoy your prison cell and the dissolving of your assets. I feel bad if you have a wife because I don't want her to suffer, but you should sit in a jail cell like you sent me, my son, and my daughter illegally in your courtroom. I'm not seeking vengeance. You should never serve be presiding over anybody. You have a very clouded judgment. You allowed legal activities under the Constitution. I just showed you and proved to everybody who was a witness and said, will you keep your word? Just sit there and please. You told me to shut up. You shut up right now. You assert your Fifth Amendment Miranda right. Somebody Mirandize this judge so he will shut up, so he don't get himself in trouble. Like, remember the thing, Judge? Hold on, brother. Remember that they were supposedly 2 times ago? Tracy, no, you need to assert your Fifth. Remember I told that whoever that secretary supposedly for Phil Studenberg to use her Fifth Amendment rights and stop trampling on my First Amendment. I knew my right to assert hers and stop trying to trample on my first. Like your bailiff that said, do you want to go to jail again? I told him, stop trying to trample on my first. You were trying to suppress my rights. And the last time you told me to shut up, you shut up right now, Judge. You shut up and sit there. Somebody Mirandize this man so he don't make himself guilty and have to spend more time in a rape cage. I hope nobody puts and violates your space, Judge. Physical damage to your anus. That would, you want it. We're going to allow this to happen to my son. That's not eye for an eye. So sit there and shut up, Judge, because you told me, sir, your Fifth Amendment right. How about I'll be nicer? Use your Miranda rights. And you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed. Judge, I don't know if you'll be able to afford after your assets have been dissolved. I don't know if you have a wife. I feel very, I'm not, my heart is not eased. It's unsettled knowing that this would affect your wife. But why should we be hanging out with a criminal like you? I don't know. So sit there and shut up. You told me to shut up. And so last time you told me to shut up because I was bringing to the fact that on the phone that this Phil Studenberg did not even call me back the first time, like he didn't keep his word. Will you keep your word? Are you keeping track? You should write this stuff down. This is evidenced against you, Judge. Yes, he told me, you told me to shut up. And now I'm asking you to assert your Miranda rights, your Fifth Amendment rights, and shut up. Anything you say will be used to die. Leave your can crap out of here. Can. I don't want to hear this. You're going to get thrown in a can if you don't stop speaking. Shut up, Judge Vandenberg. You're a criminal. I've already proven you're a criminal. You need to stop talking before you. Remember, that's what the first time, remember what they said? And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I didn't even you had that attorney ain't even been approved as my, remember the state had to prove, and I left and said, hey, if this person doesn't, these are the last things. Remember, Judge, this is all in open circuit court. I said, whoever this is, if they don't talk about my son's 180 hours, they're fired. And then I turned back around because I continue to walk out. You didn't dismiss me. Remember, you criminal, shut up. And then I pointed at you and said, and you kept me in here a week illegally. That is 100% fact, Jack. I don't think your name's Jack Vandenberg. Shut up and be quiet. Assert your Fifth Amendment rights. Remember that crap that lady was trying? I told her, no. You assert your Fifth Amendment rights, and I will continue to assert my first. I'm speaking to this judge. Don't trample like the bailiff tried to do. You want to go back to jail? You're heavy-handed bailiff trying to threaten me. Remember what I told him? I'll Freedom of Information Request Act. I'll go after you. I have that right. I'm going to tell you, if you don't stop talking to me, you're trying to suppress my First Amendment rights. Don't tell me. He stepped in front of me. Judge, shut up and listen, Judge. You normally don't get anybody to tell you that, huh? Shut up and listen. He standing in front. He got in front of me in that door. I was just trying to, after going to just speak with the district attorney, I'm going to get threatened by your bailiff to get thrown back inside that jail, be put in a freaking belly cuffs and a chain, and have to be tugged back inside your rape cage. Some man who can't keep his cock to himself inside your facility where they take shit pants, Judge, poop pants, my bad. It happens. I'm not perfect. And they put him in the herpes pants in the same hole that your medicine that's not given to in your county illegally. That has to be given by a doctor, this same hole that you feed people through. You're a sick judge to allow this to continue on. You throw people in this cage where their poop, herpes, food, and medicine all go out. That's all illegal. Now, the medicine has to be given by a doctor. You should be criminally charged for your county recently, maybe because you're skimming so much, Judge. They can't even afford, shut up, I'm talking. They have been cutting their 911 fund will not be. Remember that attorney you gave me from Klamath County who just quit on me? Maybe you don't want to cost that reputation, that county's, because you're illegal. Maybe you're skimming so much that you and all your criminal officers, they can't even afford in this county to fund 911. Is that because of you, Judge, and your criminal behavior? Shut up. I'm asking. Okay, here, use your Miranda rights. Why is it this county can't even afford? They're going to have Klamath County take 911 calls, and you think you're going to take me to trial in January? You're out of your mind. I told Phil Studenberg this would take at least 2-3 years. This goes back 4 years with the 180 hours for the rapist, Tony. You keep thinking you're going to sweep this. You are culpable. You are liable. All I ever asked, Elijah, you okay? Elijah, you okay? Bam! You caused physical damage to my property. You are culpable. So you should shut up and listen to what the evidence against you, because you're going to be liable. And my heart is uneasy knowing that hopefully if you have a wife, that they should be affected by this. So I will go after your bond. I will go after everybody that was on that list that was brought to Ted Martin, and an extensive hundreds of hours of live streaming, pleading, do not kick this into the courts, please. We can make one call and we can fix this potential clerical error. Please. I asked nicely. I pleaded. I used meekness. I taught that, hey, don't strike back. Give unto Caesar. I was using the law. I told them, hey, don't do anything illegal. I'll make sure I don't follow anything that's illegal, so I haven't done anything illegal. You, Judge, shut up and listen to me, please. I'm trying to get my evidence against you, so I make sure that somehow your wife isn't affected by that. You are the one, not out of vengeance, that my son is definitely, because you probably have some wealth. How is it that you have allowed in your county? How is it you sit there and think that you can take me to trial in 2 months when this case is 4 years old because you're a criminal? You think I'm going to fold? That's what 97, I know the statistics. 97% of cases take a plea agreement with your, remember, Mark and Dan, your district attorney is Ted, your whole racket reign. 97% of cases do not go like we're taking it. Remember what I said to Phil Studenberg. If you say these 2 words to me, plea agreement, I'll be like Donald Trump. I'll tell you, you're fired. Is that why he quit on it? So what are you going to do now, Judge? Will you keep your word, or will you be a lying criminal judge causing culpable? You don't even, I can't even imagine when they do an investigation against you, Judge, what else they'll uncover. And in this county, and we need to clean this out. This is a beautiful county without you thugs out here. People enjoy this land. I've been threatened by you criminals and your farmers out here too. With you are in cahoots with these farmers. I'm exposing them too, because I think Tom is delivering them some illicit things, and that's why they go around in circles and 24 hours a day. Something must be held. Hey, it's not what goes in a man that defiles him, but what comes out of him. But hey, when you got the local sheriff doing look at the cellular data. Okay, cellular data shows that that Tom Rourke is at where the local dealer is at, and there's a couple in town, and he hangs out there. Why is he investigating, or is he dealing, or is he, what's going on? Evidence will prove all this. Cellular data is such a beautiful thing. Against you. Against you, Judge Vandenberg. Use your Fifth Amendment rights and just please keep silent here. All this evidence, this whole stream is what's against you. You kept me illegally. You allowed Dan Spencer, co-defendant counsel, on the same case. That's it. No Mirandizing. There will be no showing of a satellite or even cellular data or any body cam. I pleaded to your district attorney and told you that in an open court. You don't have under my Miranda rights to shut up, provide counsel. Remember all these things that you don't even have under discovery, right to discovery, suppression of the evidence that you have under that body cam of anybody Mirandizing me. Did they Mirandize? Elisha, did they Mirandize? Your case is so flawed and whole, I don't understand. You just think I'm going to shut up, huh? And be one of these suckers, 97%, that take a plea agreement with either Dan or Mark. I'm not going to do that. Hey, wait, you couldn't have put Dan or Mark, so you had to turn me out illegally after 1 week. And then 6 months later, finally, Phil Studenberg decides to quit. After, how did they even represented me in any way, legal, shape, or form? So you are culpable. You are supposed to have a case together for the prosecuting attorney to prosecute me. You got nothing. Otherwise, you thought you were going to shoot me dead that day, didn't you, Judge? Oh, did you know about that? Are you in on this? I don't know, but the local businesses say that you guys had this, you bragged about what you were going to come out. Your officers had a party at the same restaurants that I was standing for. How idiocracy could you be, Lake County, to go run your stinking mouth? It will all be cellular data. You will probably all had your cell phones next to you. Who said they were going to shoot me? Who said, whose plan was it to come out and we can get him out of the house without his live stream? 17 minutes after I went to bed, they were here, and I already told my son I should have had a phone nearby. You should have been able to, by cellular data, hear it because it's recording everything. I already told him they were coming that night. Yes, I did. Cellular data will show you if you pull all my sons, ping it, do whatever they have, all this, brother. If they can sit there and say that man was in 12 hours in the bush is going to shoot Trump, then this is called cellular data, and this will all be used against you, Judge. I'm still talking to you. You criminal, you're a criminal, and I have proof of all this. So cellular data will show, right, that they're right. All this you can't hide. That's what I love about all. Cellular data will show that Tom, Morgan, and Don went to the dunes with Elijah. That's separate evidence that I have against you, Judge. I witness. Let's just talk about the cellular data. Just by alone will convict you. Do you understand? And your district attorney, all these things. Remember, I was only asking for these businesses to be stood with by you. I never called for violence. I called for you to bring your men to quell. Hey, well, quote, destroy these businesses in our small thing. You still have a personal vendetta that I'm pointing out, that you allow Tony Carson, the rapist, to run around this town, huh? And that you provide unequal justice in this town. You are not even, I think, I don't understand how you've sat on this bench and somebody hasn't turned you already into the bar and gone against your bond already. You're a criminal, and everybody in this case will have their bond sued just like you, so you'll never operate in a capacity to serve as a community. You do not serve this county. You do not serve this community. And as a you're public servant. You do not serve. You're not in the best interest of the public when you allow a rapist to run around in the county and 3-4 young men, go to jail. No, only one. That's unequal justice. You are allowing, just like in my case with Angela, how you signed warrants for her husband, the cleaning lady. We'll just put some more evidence against you because I've already done this. Yeah, you're in on this too. Remember this whole other case? You signed warrants for the cleaning lady, the lady who bought the car. They brought it back the next day, and her husband. Because of the car she was stolen. You said because Angela said it was stolen. Remember, I have 100% evidence that was her car. The cleaning ladies, that was spoken. Get my phone. I had it on me. She said that was payment for the cleaning lady and the freezers inside. Cellular data will show. That's what was said, even over the phone. That's what I said to Tom. Hey, this lady murdered her sister. I think she's on the back of the, yeah. This whole other case of Angela, who stole a criminal I had proof of too, wait a minute, is the lady who stole the vehicle? That was payment for her services. But the lady I bought the estates from called, and you can have a lady. How many calls did and she could get warrants, and she can get you and Tom and Ted Martin to do action. How many years have I been calling you? Just look, my stuff's over here, but what about the missing person? She stole all my estate. And remember, the cleaning lady, you arrested, you said you were going to put them in prison. You put warrants. She called me, they're going to convict my husband in 5 years, going to go to prison. Tracy, remember on that cleaning job? Yeah, I know, I remember Stan. What? Now she's going after? No way. I told my help, don't ask about that car. The cleaning lady was given it. It's not, this is what we're doing. Here. That minivan I purchased, but I have to get the tow dolly to bring back up. I have to wait for a minute. The real estate is involved. I've got this cleaning lady's car. This is her payment. So don't ask this lady. I know you like cars. Please. And he didn't. That's so crazy. I figured he surely would. There's mounds of evidence that this car, that this judge and this Ted Martin and this Tom Rourke are signing, having this lady arrested for a car that was given to her as payment, that I have witness. And I purchased a car. They arrested her for this car because she sold it. She sold my car too. I don't want her arrested, but why didn't they arrest her for my Nissan Quest minivan? That was part of this estate. And then Angela turned up and she's the one, and her husband moved my estate, said, Tracy, your estate's still sitting right here. Nothing's been sold, by the way. But I got to let you know something, man. They're trying to go after me after this car. Let me give you a little funny little thing about your criminal behavior there, Judge. You allowed this. I can't wait for the media to get a hold of this. Monday morning, it'll be the 17th, I believe, of November. That we'll get this out to the media. That car that the cleaning lady, you threatened her with arrest, you issued warrants, you were all part of that. This in your circuit court. You won't arrest her for my car. Nothing was ever said. I said, hey, my stuff was stolen, but by Angela. I didn't know the cleaning lady. She came clean to me and said, hey, my husband moved your stuff. He's the one, we did the cleaning. She told me what to do, and now I just moved it. I'd already told Christy, hey, that was my stuff. I'd already bought it. I'm in a mistake, but she's a cleaning lady. She did her job, what she's supposed to do. The evidence speaks for itself, right? So as this cleaning lady gets arrested, this happened like a year after this happened to me too. I just let it go. I mean, I tried, just let it go. And she comes in, I'm going to get arrested, Tracy. I'm going to get thrown in jail. Remember that job? I'm like, no way. That's crazy. How? That was your payment. I know. I had a witness, and you know. She's like, yeah. And by the way, I know where your stuff is at. It's all just still sitting there. I'm like, are you serious? Well, how come you wouldn't say anything? She's, I know. I don't. It was my husband who moved it, but it's still all sitting. I'm like, why? She talked. I'm like, she knew everything that was there too. So obviously she put her eyes on it. As I did when I bought it, I couldn't get access, but her husband had moved it. A year later, I'd found out when they threatened to put her in jail over this car. So she returns the car the next day, the very next day, okay? And then Angela, the lady who stole my stuff, okay, and has her arrested for a car that I know she received as payment. I even go to the sheriff's and say these same things as witness, all this witness, cellular data, we all had phones in our pockets. That day, hey, whatever, you can't get away from this now. You think that they don't have this stuff. They're controlling. You judge, this is all evidence against you. Shut up and sit there. Don't start talking, please. Quit interrupting. You're being rude. That's what they tell me. What are you, the feelings police? You're being rude. So yeah, cellular data will show that Angela told the cleaning lady that the payment was for part of her cleaning service. She ended up moving my estate, the second estate, from the missing person that I thought that had gotten killed, that I told the local sheriff about. He didn't do anything, but hey, he talked to her the whole time and knew she was alive and didn't even tell me. I was telling her she was killed by her sister, because he's the one who facilitated her sister being robbed by Angela. Wouldn't let the sister come back after taking care of her mom for 6 years. She turns and robs her sister as the head of the estate. $375,000. She gets a $7,000 check between 5 people. Her brother that day, I could have swore they were married. They were hanging on each other, Angela and her brother. The witness, I thought that was just her husband and what was her brother, but more witness to him that day too, talking about don't go back of the property, me buying this missing a person's estate, her sister who just went missing, who didn't go missing. Tom, the sheriff, ended up facilitating don't come back on the property. She couldn't even come get back the home. She had taken care of her mom for 5 years. Her mom bought her a house. She lost everything. Her sister overtook it with the estate, just gave her a $7,000 check. I found her stuff, brothers, sisters. Christy came to me later saying, hey, Tracy, all your stuff is here. It's sitting here. Nothing has been touched. Okay, but I'm getting ready to be thrown in jail. I'm worried about my husband. He's going to face 5 years. He's been in trouble before, but, you know, I don't know what that is. I just know her as the cleaning lady. This is just, you know, she has a job in town. She always does her job when she's supposed to do. So anyways, I contact the sheriff about this, brothers and sisters, and let them know. So my stuff is sitting there. Christy brings back the car the next day. Judge Vandenberg, this is over you. What you'd allow in your county. She brings back the car. She brings back the car. Okay. And then Angela says, now you've issued warrants for her, and I'm asking you to get involved in that. You won't listen to me. I'm involved just as much. Record will show I was making calls at the same time. They won't do anything for me. Gee, I wonder why. My $25,000 for the estate is stolen. My car is stolen. They try to arrest the cleaning lady for selling her car, her own car. I know she received, because Angela wants to make calls saying, hey, this lady stole my, this lady's a criminal. Angela's a criminal. I can prove that too. Through phone calls. I was just trying to help the lady out. To be honest with you, evidence will show, because I've already done that on the stream. So anyways, this estate, again, separate estate, car separate. They're going to arrest Christy when Angela makes a phone call. I make a phone call. Angela, the criminal who stole my stuff, can call and have this cleaning lady arrested for a car that I know is hers. I know it's hers. Got it? It's hers. It's payment. It's part of her payment for her cleaning services. Nearly a year later, she calls me, Tracy, I'm going to get thrown in jail. This cleaning, this payment for this car. Yeah, I know the white car. I told this guy, don't ask it. You know, I know this, your stuff is still sitting here. What? Yeah, my husband moved it. But look, please, you know, I got you. I know that would never let you get convicted. I'm certain I know. I'll go talk to the sheriff. Something was weird about it. Now this makes sense. This missing person, she must have whacked her sister and put her in the back of the property. That's why they told me don't go back there. I better go talk about the sheriff about it. I cannot believe you have my stuff. So this white car, the cleaning lady goes to the person that bought it. They actually have a warrant for the person who bought it. The person who bought the car, her husband and her, because of this stolen car. So Angela, lady who stole my stuff, can get her convicted. Warrants. You, Judge Vandenberg and Ted Martin are in charge. This is all your criminal behavior. There's so much more of what you do in this county. It's sick, huh? Are you getting sick, Judge? Just keep asserting your Fifth Amendment right and shut up, please. I'm talking. I'm asserting my first. Assert yours, as I said. So Angela, she threatens, and you sign off on these warrants. Christy, oops, well, whatever. She is, what is she? The clean lady brings the car back the very next day, brings it back to the police station. And then remember, Judge, you're a part of all of this too, and Ted Martin. Angela says if she'll pay, she got to pay for the car. Now, she already did with her services, that you'll drop all this. You're a thug. You threaten her with arrest and 3 warrants. How come you didn't put a warrant out her for selling my car? So the cleaning lady and the person threatened with arrest warrant for all these people through Tom, the sheriff, who facilitated the cleaning lady's, husband moving the other estate, the supposed what I thought was murder lady Angela, who can get people convicted, called and actually stole that estate from her sister. So I have proof she's a criminal not only through the estate, but stole my separate of her sister's own, who took care of her mom for 5 years. She didn't take care of her. She was a millionaire in California. She was living there on her mom's property. Her mom actually bought her a really nice single wide, very clean, nice, really, I'm not into modern stuff, but it's nice, clean, whatever, modern stuff. But anyways, she had plants. It was a really nice place, real modern. I don't like modern, but anyways, she took care of her mom for 5 years. Imagine taking care of your mom for 5 years. She goes into hospice for 6 months, and then your sister just overtakes you, using the sheriff to say you can't come back here. Tom Rourke is a sheriff who I've been pointing out to you, Judge Vandenberg, is one of these criminal deputies, not the elected Michael Taylor, but one of these criminal deputies out here, and I warned you of his behavior. This is proof with your warrant that Tom is threatened Christy, you threatening him by the warrant with Ted Martin to arrest all 3 of these people. They bring the car back the next day. She turns and says, if you buy this car, I'll drop the charges. That sounds like extortion. Judge, you're an extortionist. You're like a Gestapo. I have proof right there that you are a criminal. I cannot wait to be there for the day to visually see you turn around and put on your shiny bracelets. Judge, you're a criminal. Just shut up and please, so you're going to open your mouth and you get yourself in more trouble. They did that to me, and now I'm telling you, just like your judge, hey, you want to spend more time in jail, like him telling me, hey, you want to spend more time in prison? You should assert your Fifth Amendment rights. And shut up, Judge Vandenberg. Be quiet. You told me to shut up. Now you made it personal. Well, personal mean that, hey, you pushed the ball back in my court by saying, hey, right? You pushed this. You with this warrant, you did. None of this was even possible without you, Judge. You're culpable and for all these things. So let's go back to the car. The white car gets brought back to the police station, and it sits there, and you say, okay, well, if you'll pay for the car, you're an extortionist. You're like a Gestapo. I can't believe they even let you do business in this business. Conducting some kind of, I don't know. That's like, do what we say or we'll throw. Yeah, that's what you're throwing your weight around. See, I've already proved that you don't need your ability as a judgment is clouded. You're using your authority to suppress an innocent woman who was paid for this car through her service, and then you threaten her under warrant of arrest, but you'll drop the warrants of the criminal lady who stole my stuff, part of what I paid for. I got all proof of that. And a criminal will sit there and convict against a woman. She's innocent. That's part of her payment. I have witness of this too. That's what I went and told the sheriff. This is my stuff. This is hers. So this white car comes back. Angela, the lady who can make one call and get all this action by you, Judge, and all these sheriffs and all this, I'm making calls the whole time. You won't do nothing. Proof that you are actually not equal justice. You are selectively, you are 100% accountable. So keep being quiet, because I'm going to continue to convict you with evidence. This is evidence and personal vendetta. Remember my wife, my heart is a niece. If you're married, I don't know if you're married. I don't care if you're married or not. All I know is you're a criminal, and you should keep asserting your Fifth Amendment rights so you don't incriminate yourself any more than you already have. So I continue to don't suppress my right of evidence and discovery. You can't. Under my right of discovery, suppression of evidence, I have the right to bring everything against you. I'm not going to bring any surprises in court against you. You'll know everything. Remember, you know this. So shut up. Use your Fifth Amendment Miranda rights and use your right to remain silent. And I'm going to continue on to convict you. So this car that you allowed under your judgment with Ted Martin, you are going to convict under warrant, which you are part of the signing through Ted Martin. She brings the car back. Angela says, I'll drop the charges. You're a freaking you're a Gestapo or something. You're a freaking mafia. You say you will. So she pays. You want me to get it out right now? I already showed it on these live streams of all the evidence. Angela says, okay, if you'll pay the car off, we'll drop the charges. And you go with this, you're a criminal, just so you know. So the lady pays the car off, right? I want to show how much more. Now wait, I think you're going to serve a lot more than you think. I really do. I really, really do. It's not just right to discovery suppression. I won't disclose anything. There'll be no surprises. Don't worry. There'll be no surprises there. Vandenberg. So listen, the car is there, and she brings it back the next day. You charge it. You don't do anything about her selling my car. The car. She did. It's her payment, but she sold my car. Why am I need some? So you'll get a chance. You can court, just like me. I don't think you're going to drop your case. I think you're disappointed, and I don't think you'll ever practice. I will sue your bond. So be quiet. You told me to shut up. Now it's my day to tell you to shut up. Use your Fifth Amendment rights under the right of discovery suppression. I will suppress no evidence. You're going to get it all right now. This is a stream directly. It's got your picture on it, and a worldwide is seeing your criminal behavior right now. So you take the car back, Tom Rourke, and you allow this into North Lake County to sit in the parking lot of the police station until whatever. So the cleaning lady says, look, okay, I've already made payment. She didn't say, but she's already made payment by doing the service. Then you tell her to pay for the car, which she does. Now I have the paperwork where she says, I'm requesting the car. I'm requesting the car. I paid for it. Here's you did all, here's all the paperwork I paid for it. So I would like the car. I'd like the car. I paid for it, not only with my services, double jeopardy, brother. They do this all the time out here. She physically pays. I have all the paperwork. Angela turns around and you say no, that Angela just donated the car to the police department. You're a criminal, Judge, and so is your police department. Right there should convict everybody in this police department out who was involved in that case. Did you just hear what I said? Jack, Shiva, whatever is in it. I don't know. Get him out of here. Anybody with the name Shiva 666 will rebuke you. That's disgusting. You're swine. So anyway, hey, you'll know them by their fruit, right? Anybody who's Shiva, anyways, Mammon, 666 is the number of man. Anyways, so yeah, did you hear what I just said? Yeah. They donated the car. The lady tries to get the car that she paid for with services, and then she pays for the car, and then Angela says, no, the sheriff won't give her the car. They said, no, she donated it to the police department. Isn't that crazy? She paid for the car. She requested the county, hey, can I have the car? I paid for it. First with my service of cleaning, and now you force me with under arrest and I'm going to pay for it to get it back. You drop the charges. Now I want the car. And they don't give it back to her? Bye-bye, Judge Vandenberg. I hope you spend the rest of your days. Maybe you can be rehabilitated or something, but you'll never, ever serve as a judgment over anybody. You're clouded. This is your county. You allowed this to happen. You arrested this woman, all these warrants and all this, and this lady, the lady who just bought the car, you issue a warrant for it. She didn't know. They return the next day the car. Then you make her pay for it and you won't even give it to her. That's proof that you're a criminal. There's too many things in this case against you, Judge. So you're a criminal, and I think the best thing you can do is keep your mouth closed. So that's what's going on in this case against you. You want more? I'll put more. I got more evidence against you. I got tons. Remember? What will you do, Judge? Will you drop this case? Do I need to summons, as I've already told, cellular data will show that I've reported and said, Abigail, I will summons you in a court of law. You see what this judge is doing. You specifically told me through evidence that you've never seen a case handled like this. You deal with all these cases. This is a unique one-off case. And I said, I don't want to summons you, Abigail, but you remember Judge saying that in November, this case would be done. No, you're getting close. I don't want to hear that. Remember that? That's you use your Fifth Amendment rights. Remember, I insisted no when. Not you're getting close. These are in a circuit court, Judge. You're gonna be convicted of this. This is in a circuit court. Will you keep your, how could you sit there and tell me that you were going to drop this case? Your word's supposed to be higher than any authority in that thing, and then you don't keep your word. How would you ever expect to keep your job as a circuit court judge? Your bar, how would you not be disbarred? How would you continue to practice under the bar if you do that? You say in an open court that I myself tell you, this is all recorded. Everybody that was sitting there that day said, I know, no, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear when, not you're getting close. And I wanted an exact date, correct? Remember, Judge? Quiet. Don't answer. Let your attorney represent you. You should let your attorney. You shouldn't say anything. I don't know why are you here without an attorney? That'd be pretty nutty there, Judge. Pretty nutty of you. Your judgment is clouded. You're going to sit there and threaten a woman for arrest when this woman's the criminal, steal my stuff, and then allow this car to be donated to the police department? I think your whole agency is corrupt. And I think that's why you have facilitated under your county the solicitation by extortion to all these residents under your 97% plea agreement deals. You sweep most are under your special, and I'm on to you, Judge. I'm so on to you. And then your evidence against you it's earth shattering. You won't practice ever again, or you'll get your way and you'll convict me. I don't think so. The Father will do all things. So there's a brief synopsis of what I have against you. If you'd like more, I will underwrite a discovery and suppression of evidence. Let's hope you use your brain and it's not clouded. Judge, are you drinking on the job? Are you using methamphetamines, Judge? Do you use some kind of illicit drug? Maybe we should have Judge Vandenberg urine tested, and find out if he's actually able to be comparable. Well, can he complete his job without having clouded? I think his judgment without alcohol or without drugs is clouded. We at least should question, though, is he operating as a judge being intoxicated under some kind of influence? Is that why his judgment is? Why is he allowed? Why would you allow a woman to buy a car back under threat of arrest if she doesn't buy it and then not release the car to her? Why would you convict her when she sold that car if it was, what about my car? Your judgment is clouded, Judge Vandenberg. You'll never serve another day on the bench, or I'm going to go to prison. One of the two. Maybe you'll send your SWAT team out here again to shoot me. Don't worry, Judge Vandenberg. I've already called the bar about you and Ted Martin. You had a chance. So let's see. Hey, a lot of backroom deals going on in this county. Go ahead and drop my case, as I keep telling you over and over, my son's case and the case against my daughter. And all I will do, I will not sue you personally, Judge. I will sue your bond. Maybe that'll help your wife. See, the problem that I'm having for people who witness this, who don't understand, whoever's in this thing, when a man like myself, who does appreciate the support of, law enforcement, the law, and all these things, unfortunately, when these criminal judges and cops, and these happen every day, district attorneys go and get convicted, you as the taxpayer pay for their criminal behavior. That's not fair, brothers and sisters. I don't like that personally. So I personally will not place any personal lawsuit against any one of these criminals as listed in all of my live streams involved in this 180-hour case. I will not, but I will sue every one of their bonds and will try to assist you to sue any bond from somebody not too crazy so they can't operate. I'm not trying to take Judges Vandenberg. I don't even want to call you whatever you are. You don't reside. You should never have resided over conflict of interest. When you're going after targeting, police targeting, even your county, as I called Lake County, said, hey, I'm calling about this. They said, hey, we can't police ourselves. You've got to call. I called the state and now I've called the Department of Justice, federal, state, the governor's office. I've called the bar. I've got calls in. It's Sunday, but Monday I will be back on you like white on rice, trying to continue to produce evidence, because that's it. Under the right of discovery, I'm not trying to seek vengeance. I'm only trying to bring the evidence that I have against you, so you'll be criminally convicted, because I have 100% proof that you are a criminal, along with Ted Martin and all your corrupt deputies out here under the elected Sheriff Michael Taylor, who I want to know too, Judge, because he is under your hat. I have called Sheriff Michael Taylor how many times? I have evidence on a live stream that I asked him to come. I remember Lance Brown. Remember, that was Sam Birch, my first meeting. I said, don't waste the county's money. Don't send any deputies. That's fuel. That's their time. I'll make them look foolish. Please just send the elected sheriff out. I've kind of got an in-house problem. I'm a veteran. I'm a prior law enforcement, professional courtesy. Let's handle this in-house. Please, come on, maybe a little backroom deal here. I don't want to push this into the media. Please don't push this into the courts. We can get this fixed. Let's get this taken care of. You pushed it into the courts. You did this, not me. You did this, not me. I tried. Remember, I called to try to get you to make you aware of the corruption. Is that why I'm being, this case should never be tried. They are correct. They are criminal. And if there is criminal behavior, the thing again, that sucks, brother, sister, got to wrap this one up. Anybody's listening, is that the taxpayer pays. So if you're going to audit your public officials, which you should do in the capacity of their duty, you have the right under free press, your First Amendment right, your freedom of speech, your freedom of press. You have a citizen journalist. You should audit all your public officials in the, why aren't they allowing any cameras in the courtroom? Judge, what do you have to do with that? Audit all your public officials in capacity when they're in a community service, a public, they cannot, oh, you can't record me. Brothers, that's illegal. What if they're forming criminal behavior? How are we ever going to know? Don't point that camera at me. I'm a cop. You can't do that, brothers. You should always take it to trial. Always take it to trial. Make them produce the evidence they have. Most of the time, it's shady. Because of the deals like this, they're trying to convict me of 2 felonies and a misdemeanor. Criminal conspiracy. I'm a criminal for standing up for your rights and against a rapist, interfering with a peace officer. Peace? You're the one that brought guns to my house, Judge Vandenberg. Hindering prosecute. You're trying to prosecute, throw my son in a cage where he can have his asshole violated by some man who can't keep his cock to himself. You're damn right, Judge. I'm going to step in front of that cock. Hey, Judge, I'm the cock blocker. How you like that, Judge? Stick that one in you. No, I'm not going to let his asshole get violated, Judge. So what? I'll put my asshole in front of his. I'm standing in front of you. You think I'm afraid of you? No, I'm not. I'm only afraid of the judgment. I've never committed a crime. I don't have a criminal record, Judge. You are going to have a criminal record. You're a criminal. I can prove it 100 times over. I'll keep going, but I don't want to. I'm getting tired of seeing this same thing go on and over again. So we'll see. Do you make your back real deep? Because Monday morning, I will be all over you, Judge. You don't even know it because you're so comfortable in your little house right now thinking you could 97% me, sweep me under the rug. I said, take it to the box. I said to Phil Studenberg, take it to the box. I already said that. I will take this. You say plea agreement, I'll say you're fired. So just drop the cases. And I'll only sue you and your bond and everybody's bond. I will not sue the county or the state. If my son so chooses to do so, if his wife, and I think they should, I don't know, man. They have suffered a lot. I have physical damage. I don't know if you watch when they shot my son. I don't know what was shot at him. Were there live rounds? Or I know I heard him in court last time, so he's still alive. Shut up, Judge. Don't interrupt me. Sir, you see, you did that to me. You tried to suppress me, and no more suppressing this evidence. One call could have already taken care of all this. You allowed all this under this hat. How do you sit there and have a woman bring a car back and then you let her donate it to the police department? So I have so much more against this county, and I know a lot of people in this county are very afraid of this police department, brothers and sisters, but I am your voice as an American veteran. Enemies, foreign and domestic, these are domestic enemies. These people who form these kind of solicitation of, mafia type behavior of, hey, we'll drop the charges if you pay the car and don't even give them the product that they paid for is mafia type behavior. I have so much more against this county. I am the voice of Lake County, Oregon, for the people who do not stand up, for the people who are tired of rapists, murders, and pedophiles being released in this county, and then the police department not being accountable, and especially the probation and parole department who houses these parolees and probationaries, rapists, murders, and pedophiles. More of them in this county. This is not isolated. This county is so upset. This should never be policed in this county. You can't police yourself. So it will only be a matter of time, even if the case, which would, I believe, in the best interest of everybody involved for the district attorney, which still has a chance because this is how criminal these people are. This last time I was in court, this is you, Judge, to witness this. So please keep quiet and don't speak anymore at all. If you can, just keep your mouth shut. I sat there and I told you again about, all of what I've spoken of this 180 hours. You're totally aware of what is going on. You've seen under right of discovery, suppression of evidence. You have the evidence. You have no Miranda, me being Brandeis. You've trampled on my property under your warrant through Ted Martin, who is obviously just as culpable and criminal. Now, you, Judge, keep your Fifth Amendment in hand and don't open your mouth, please. He was told. Now, remember, I've told him of all this to his face. Remember, I was kind of mugging him last time. Remember? Trying to look at him to get him to look at me because he'll never look at me or talk to me or call me or any of these things. That this man here is totally aware. How could he be not aware of everything that's going on? He is you too perform on a day. I want to know how many contacts do you got? How much presiding over this case have you done? Because remember, you appointed this Klamath County attorney who's quit. He just up and quit. He didn't even notify me. Negligence. I don't know, negligent. But Ted Martin is totally aware of all this. I've called his office. Now he's you guys work together. Are you telling me you don't know about Elijah's 180 hours? Are you telling me you don't know about Tony Karsten? Are you telling me you don't know about Angela, the lady who stole Tom Rorksby? Are you telling me you're just oblivious? This is all under your county. So you sit there and think that you brought this into this, you kicked it into the courts. As I said to your district attorney, you're the one who did it, and then I'm going to get threatened with your thug when I go in there. But he's aware that you're the one who kicked it in the courts with your warrant, which I tried to prevent. For how long? How many live streams? 14 days sitting down until I stood up and got out the whiteboard. That's when you figured, oops, we made a big mistake. This did, dude. Oh, yeah. So now you think, remember, you're a criminal if you're in this courtroom right now, Ted Martin. I don't know if you reside over this case under suppression of evidence and right of discovery. I hope you'd be here. That you too are involved in this. Ted Martin, you knew. Remember, you were very aware, you and the judge. Hey, you were there that day. I said about how you're going to be there at least, hopefully, for when I said, Abigail, you're going to drop this. But you sit there, Judge, and you facilitated the last time without Phil Studenberg showing up when you told me to shut up. Remember, I'm telling you to be quiet. You facilitated this under your county. This district attorney who asked you, hey, no, I can't do it in December, which would be next month. I got to do it. That's when he leaves. Ted Martin, if you think you're going to run away from this case, you got another thing coming. I will do a whole nother direct stream about you. I've already done one about you, Ted Martin. Judge, this is criminal evidence against you. This is your prosecuting attorney, your district attorney. You guys are in cahoots in bed together. I know this. Your behavior shows it. So you said, and remember, he said, no, I got to do it in January. Because he's not going to be in office. If you think that I am going to let Ted Martin go, or even if you drop all these cases, that I'm going to let this go, you got another thing coming. I'm not seeking any vengeance, but I will go after your bond and everybody else, but I will not go after the taxpayer because you've made the taxpayer suffer enough. Remember, drop this case, Ted Martin. You have, under my Miranda rights, no body cam of even me being right. How much longer have you kept this in the courts? you're continuing to be funded, and that's what you're doing. Your criminal behavior, both Ted Martin and you, Judge Vandenberg, are absolute criminals, and there's mountains more. I'm sure when the federal government comes out here and hopefully execute some more warrants on some other people, as far as like these sheriffs out here, especially Josh, who I audited, is totally easily, I cannot believe how much that deputy who couldn't get a job at the fire department ends up getting a job with you in your department. Why did you arrest the fire marshal? I think I know what's going on. Josh, you're part of that, Josh. That man needs a separate investigation. Deputy Bezel, Josh Bezel, the deputy needs a separate investigation. His phone pinged for everywhere that deputy has been. I'm telling you, that man is stalking people. He's a criminal as well. I'm going to separate. I knew that man before he was even ever. You'll see, I've had done business. I've sold things to him and bought and traded. I had no issue with him. When he became a thug like he is and acts criminal like he is, I'm going to point out as criminal. But he wasn't like that until he tried to get a job with the fire. You might want to look into Josh Bezel, Judge. Another one of your all of them. Tom Rourke, Sam Birch, Lansbury, all of them. They're all criminal. I can get criminal. You need to start pinging phones, federal government. When they come in this county, you're going to uncover so much criminal behavior, not just by these judges and district attorney, but many of them perform. Maybe that's why there's no money to even fund 911 in this county. Isn't that sad, brothers and sisters? I find that very sad. This reign of Gestapo mafia behavior has drained this county so much that they don't even have, you call 911, they don't have the money to fund it. They're going to have to send it over to another county in 2025. Judge, you are part of that. I can't wait till this criminal and federal indictment of your federal indictment, and then your conviction, not just an indictment, not some secret. This ain't no secret. You're a criminal. And my evidence speaks for itself. And this isn't vengeance in any way. I seek none, but I do seek all full authority of the law to incriminate you under right of discovery, suppression of evidence. If I need to bring more evidence against you, I will. Remember, I had witnessed that day, that last time that I came into court, that you told me to shut up. And you did try to suppress my right that day. I know my rights. I will continue to assert them. And if I said I will fight, that means legally, not with guns. You are the man that brought guns. And I'm afraid that because you caused me physical damage, you will be. The bond should take care of it. Your bond will take care of it for me. I don't need to sue the county. Okay, just so you know, Judge, I'm not a man of vengeance, okay? And you're not a judge, but we'll continue. Just shut up and assert your Fifth Amendment rights, please. I've asked you, just keep quiet. You're going to criminate yourself. Who's your attorney? This attorney should be doing a better job to tell you to keep. You don't even have an attorney for me right now. You convict me, you throw me. No, you haven't convicted me, have you? You're trying to. You throw me in your cage. You kick it in the courts with your SWAT warrant. And then you don't even have an attorney to represent. You're a criminal. You don't even have enough money to fund them. How are you going to take me to trial? I'm hoping they hear this, brothers, because they've watched this the whole time, just so you know. I'm hoping they'll drop the case, all of the cases, on Monday, because I'm going to put the screws, and I'm going to ask you to put the screws on Monday and call district attorney. I'm going to ask you to call this district attorney. I'm not going to call Lake County Sheriffs. I'm not going to call Lane County. We're going to call one number. One number only. I'm going to put it out on here, and we're going to Monday just pound Ted Martin. Judge Vandenberg's going to prison. I'm pretty sure of that. But the problem that we're having here, if you just listen to what I said, in January, Ted Martin will not be practicing as the district attorney anymore. He's trying to just sweep this out of the way. I do not want this man to run away from this. You could help me by coming back money. Do not let Ted Martin, the criminal district attorney, run away from this case. He's the one who signed off on the special weapons and tactics warrants. He's the one who pushed this into the courts. Why is he going to be able to push this on to the next district attorney? That should not happen with the judge's words, his words. I will summons Abigail, who is part of this system. He knows who judge, you know who it is. She said, you, as my witness and everybody else in that courtroom, this case would be dropped this month. I think it was the 21st is when I was in there last. So it's the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 20th. Just drop it Monday, because I'll be pounding on you with evidence, and your district attorney, Judge. I'll call your district attorney directly to try to actually speak with him. You can still send Michael Taylor to my house if you'd like, the elected sheriff, because I believe he holds the authority, or just drop all the cases. You still reside over at Judge, and you haven't lost your judge yet. Maybe you can save face there, Vandenberg. Shut up and be quiet. Listen to your attorney. That's what they told me. I keep telling you to shut up. You told me. Don't you ever suppress my rights to freedom of speech. I'm a veteran. I have that right. You, just because I don't vote, I don't have a stop it, Judge. Shut up and be quiet. Use your Fifth Amendment rights. This is a case live stream specifically with your face on it against you. The whole wide world is watching, and I'll have everybody from around the world be calling your district attorney, and we will, under the case, if you try to take and convict me under your trial, remember there are people, hundreds of phone calls that were made from around the world to your offices. You're going to have to summons all those phone calls. Do you seriously think you could take me to trial? That's what I've told you. You can't. You can't afford it. Not when your 911 services can't be funded. You're not going to take me. My son is not folded and will not fold. And that's to take it to the box. I feel as if my son's wife took a charge, and I think she did because she's never been in trouble. And I think she got scared by this Gestapo judge and whoever's, I don't know. It doesn't matter. She was foolish. Abigail herself, you will find by cellular data with me talking to her, even over the phone, that she said she's just naive. She doesn't know. Poor lady got caught in the middle. Judge, you are more you are not complacent, okay? I can tell you are very aware that Adriana was not involved in any. How in the hell would you allow your district attorney to charge her with criminal conspiracy, interfering with a peace officer, and hindering prosecution without warrant, without even a written? You're going down, Judge. You're bond, and you should be more concerned about getting her whatever she might have done, reversing that immediately, because that is going to be. I think she'll sue your bond. I think she'll sue you personally. I think she'll set a person, and that's her business, not mine. I'm encouraged. I will try to, after you drop this I've asked you to drop this no contact order. I'll tell you what, I'll know you mean Judge business when you drop. I'll get a call from Ted Martin Monday morning saying, Tracy, we want to settle this and we want to drop the no contact order. Your son is probably on his way to come over and hang out with you. If that's not the case, we're taking it to trial, and I will take this to appellate court. I think it's already a conflict of interest. Abigail said that. It's probably gonna have to put a change of venue. She agrees with that. How are you continuing to allow this to happen in your county? Because you're criminal and you will serve. I hope I'm there to one day. It's not about stimulation of the eyes. You know, he warns us that. But to see you in shiny bracelets one day will be satisfying, knowing that this county is not subject to your mafia Gestapo behavior, how you drop these charges and we'll, and we'll pay for the car and we'll drop the charges and then don't even give the lady the car back. That's mafia type behavior, and you're involved in that, Ted and Tom and all these people. So if you would like to pound the hell out of these people, hell, the place of no knowledge, they lack it. Come back Monday. Maybe I'll come on later or talk about something, but I'll be doing a live stream Monday as I'm making calls. I might even, figure out another way to do this, or I'll figure it out. Now I can't do the same thing at the same time. But anyways, here nor there, I'll be compiling. I'm not going to be complacent, compiling more evidence against Judge Vandenberg and all the people involved in this case, and I will be having people called. So if you don't want to come in Monday and be involved, I understand, but you better come in here and be ready to start calling Ted Martin's office, tell him you better drop this case against Tracy. And get Judge Van, all of them too, not me, all three. I will not. If they just drop my case, I won't do it. I won't do it. They have to drop all the cases. If Adriana and Elijah decide to sue the county, that's their prerogative. I think that sucks. I would encourage them not to. That makes you, the taxpayer, have to pay. I don't want to make the taxpayer pay for these criminals' behavior. If you agree with me, that's great. If you don't, I don't care. Jimmy Crack Corn, it ain't about that. I'm not a man seeking vengeance. I'm a man that's standing up, a veteran who was told, to defend this country, the freedoms, all the rights of the people. So I'm not going to stop doing that. Even though I ended my tour service, I will never stop defending the right of the people. We hold the power. The power is in the Constitution. And if you search your rights, you don't have to follow illegal laws. I haven't broken any laws. They are being illegal. So, Judge, maybe I'll just do a whole nother. I'll go back and refine, and I'll bring up more evidence against you in a whole separate stream, because I'm going to do another one about Ted. I believe I've got more evidence that I can compile against you under right of discovery. I want you to have all the evidence, and your attorney that's representing you here, so you won't get surprised. I know what suppression of evidence. You can't suppress, and I will not suppress. So I will bring more evidence against you. I'm producing it right now. So I will bring more evidence against you, Judge Vandenberg. You're a criminal, and I cannot wait to see you in shiny braces, not to stimulate the eyes, but to protect this county. And maybe we'll get a new presiding judge and a new district attorney. Well, we already are. But Ted, I will not settle. I won't. I will continue to pursue this case. You, Monday morning, are my main goal here. You're the one who can say, Judge, drop this. Tracy's not going to stop this stuff until we drop this case against him, his son, and his daughter. We better start thinking about how much money we've cost the county. This man literally has evidence against all of us. We are seriously facing conviction. I know they are, brothers, sisters. I know they are. I'm not afraid of them. They're not going to stop me. Remember, I'll fight to the death, legally, never with arms, always using the pen is mightier than the sword. Correct? Ha, ha, ha. You can't beat the conviction that you're going to receive. The evidence speaks for itself. Cellular data is going to convict most of you. And cellular data will make you have to pay. If Elijah did 181 hours, every hour that my son was made to do, not got extra community service because he broke a law. You just said he didn't do it, and cellular data will prove that he did. This is all over one phone call. This is crazy. Just a call to the probation office of Lake County, me calling to find out in 5 months if he'd had all his hours completed. They said, yes, we'll drop this case. So I'm going to compile more evidence to you, Judge Vandenberg. This is a specific live stream convicting you. So I will produce more evidence. I've got more. I'm getting a little worn out. Just thinking of you makes me sick. You told me to shut up. Why would you try to spread? You as a judge should be standing there for people. You preside over people's legal rights. You trampled on my First Amendment. Don't ever do that again. Don't do it while I'm in court. I'm hoping I'll never see you in front again. The only time I'll see you is when you're turning around and you're putting your hands behind your back. You're a criminal, and I will bring more evidence against you on my next live stream. This stream is specifically a documentation of evidence, an evidentiary stream against the criminal Judge Vandenberg and how they are targeting me here in Lake County and my son. And if you want to help out, I've gotten $0 for a legal fund because I can't afford one, and they appointed me, but he quit. So don't worry about it. It's going to go to appellate court. They will appoint a higher, it's not going to stay in this county any longer. So don't put any money in the funds for legal. That's fine. If you'd like to donate to this ministry, that's still possible. There is a PayPal and a Cash App. I do take some, audit me, Judge, audit all my money accounts. I don't make money. Wasn't able to attain money to fight you. I have to do what I can. I'm trying to sell land, but it is what it is. Nothing's sold yet, so I'm doing everything I can to put as much evidence as I can against you. I think your best interest, you criminal judge, is to make a deal, backroom deal with Ted Martin, so you don't cost this county more money by having my son, if he so chooses, to sue you, and the county and the state. That's up to them. I will not sue anybody personally, but I will sue everybody's bond that's involved. That should take care of the ministry. I will provide for the ministry. If I have a financial gain, I don't want financial gain. I don't want any gain from this. I've already been marred, my vision. I've received permanent damage. I'm not even seeking damages for my physical, brother, or any emotional. I want to see my son get his life back. I want to see my daughter. I want to see this contact order drop Monday. I've already told them to do this in a court of law. We'll see if they do. I have evidence. If I have to summons Abigail, she's part of this case, that she witnessed the judge say that this would be dropped here. Apologize, we got some animals out here at the farm. That she saw and witnessed the judge said in the month of November this case would be dropped. So if he doesn't, he's criminal, he's a liar and a thief. Obviously, that's you, Judge. Your word. I have an open court. You would drop. I don't want not. I'm almost close. Remember, this is an open circuit court. So will Judge Vandenberg keep his word, or will he be untruthful? Not keep his. Remember, he's supposed to be presiding. His word should mean everything in that court. He should never vary. If you preside over, you can't let be a variable in your word. These judgments clouded. Please help me convict Judge Vandenberg and help the people of Lake County, Oregon, so we can rid this county of this. Everything else about this county is wonderful. This is a beautiful place to be. I will not let people like you, Judge Vandenberg, take a dump in my backyard. You are the dump. You are the swine. You are the feces of this county. I cannot wait till the top bottom, like a bowling pin. You're all knocked down and you all have to find separate jobs, just not in law enforcement. I'm not trying to take your livelihood. Go find another job. You are not comparable to operate as a public community or a, no, you don't. And I make sure that I sue every one of your bonds, and I'm sure I'll find an attorney to do that. Once it goes to appellate, there's something for them to gain. I have nothing. I will take whatever check and donate it. We'll document it on this ministry. So thank you for your time, for whoever's a witness, because this is an evidentiary stream, and I do appreciate it. This is America, man. We need to stand up for the right of the people. I'm just a man standing up for my community. My son, who was he's been wronged. I can prove his innocence, and they still want to convict him. So now they want to convict me. Are you the kind of person that stands up and then the law tries to come after you? It's not easy, brothers and sisters, to do what I'm thankful that the Father gives me the strength, and that I know that he writes all things, and I have nothing to fear but the Lord. This judge will not do anything to me. Nobody in this case will not do anything that the Father has not allowed. Man, that feels so good. Thank you, Father, for helping me through this difficult time. All right, Judge. This is not a personal vendetta. I'm going to have more evidence against you. You're going to hear this. You're going to get under right of discovery and suppression of evidence. I will not suppress it. I've got more evidence, and I'll be producing a live stream unless Monday morning I get a contact order dropped by my son and my daughter, and all these cases are dropped. We'll figure this out. I'm not moving out of this county. You will not kick me out of this county. I didn't leave yet. I went right back to life. I'm not intimidated by you, your law enforcement officers, no judge. You're not going to intimidate me, Judge. I am not. I told you that. We're not leaving. Remember your SWAT officer? We're not leaving. We're not going anywhere. What did I say? I'm not going anywhere either. That's why I said I would fight legally to the death till I die. Why would I give up now? So don't just drop the case and think that something's not going to happen to you. You will be sued for your bond, not personal. I don't have this personally. The county should not pay for your negligence. Please, brothers and sisters, if you get in an issue with one of your counties, please be cautious about suing the county or the state itself, because that does cost the taxpayer money. These officers, these judges, these community service officers, they're all bonded. They hold anywhere from $500,000 to $3 million bond. Licensed, bonded, and insured like a contractor. I encourage you to sue their bond, though, because that will allow them to never operate in that field of work. That's not going to completely destroy them, but their career in that job is finished. They can go deliver pizzas or something. Maybe be better working for DoorDash. Judge, right? If you're still a judge and you still hold the power, I think you should use and wield the power properly and drop all these cases. I've got more evidence and going to bring more against you on the right of discovery. I will not suppress the evidence that I have. You know that. Ask your attorney. Now, maybe he knows more than you. I don't know, but you sure shouldn't be operating as a judge anymore. Maybe you can save face. We'll see Monday. What is Monday? The 18th of November. If I have to summons Abigail to see that you said you would drop this case, I think it was on the 21st. That gives you 3 more. You should just do it Monday. I will have massive amount of calls from around the world. Or it won't just be in America, and we're going to use this evidence to get all these people who are calling you, Ted Martin, Judge, these will be evidence more against your case. So I'm assuring you that I will underwrite a discovery, bringing more evidence daily against you. I know how to produce evidence. I know how to present evidence, and I will present this evidence in a court of law for all these calls that are calling you, telling you, we've been a witness, drop these charges. You're going to have to summons all these calls already. There's already been calls made from around the world to both Lake, Lane, sheriffs, Lake County parole, probation. All these calls have already been made or part of this case. If you want me to keep compiling evidence, I will. Here's your chance to stand down, as I've told you many times. Stand down, drop all the cases. I won't sue the county. I won't sue the state. It's not up to me what my son or my daughter does. If I get a chance, hopefully I do soon. I don't even know if I'll ever see my son again, brothers and sisters. Isn't that criminal? I haven't talked to my son in 6 months. And this judge is why. This criminal judge. He didn't have to do that. We're not conspiring to do anything. I have the evidence to convict. That's what they're afraid of me. They're afraid of the evidence. Maybe that's why they haven't done anything in 6 months. So hopefully I'll be, hey guys, I can't believe what just happened. I'll get a call where the judge will have talked to Ted Martin, the one before he gets out, because I will pursue Ted Martin after he is not a civil lawsuit, but a criminal lawsuit against Ted Martin, a separate suit, criminal, for his culpable for the damages that he caused to my physical and all the other people involved. I do not think that it shows you how Ted Martin will tuck tail. So I'm going to pound Ted Martin until he gets out of office. I will call his office every day. I will until they tell me that's not harassment. I have the right to call. So I'm going to ask you come Monday morning tomorrow to start calling these people, because this and all their warrants was completely unnecessary. One call could have taken care of all of this, you know. So, all right, Judge Vandenberg, I'm going to tell it like it is. You called the tea kettle black. You're a criminal, and I hope you just look me in the eyes. I'd like you to look me in the eyes before they turn you around, so you can know that, hey, we make a mistake, and I'd love to be there to see you when you get spun around and get put in handcuffs and get hauled off to a prison, because you had a chance to do all this, okay? So that's going to happen. Your destiny is in God's hands. Why you fear me? You should fear God. I ain't doing this. This is all God's doing. I'm a teacher and a pastor, so there's nothing done out of vengeance. I never once called for violence. You're a criminal, Judge. You sent men, armed men, with guns and literally ruined my vision. You're culpable. So be ready. Ted Martin, we're going to be calling his office Monday morning, or don't come into this live stream on Monday, please. Monday is going to be all in. I'm going harder than I ever have on this case. They did it. I'm going to do this until it's done. They're going to come swat my house again. The feds are going to come pick me up. Something's going to happen, but I will not stand down and just allow this criminal behavior to happen in this county. I still reside here. I don't know if my son will ever see him or he'll come back. He was going to build a house out here. I don't think that's going to be possible, but you don't crap in my backyard. You hear that, Judge? Don't produce no more crap. Just take care of this, clean up this crap. You might sweep up the crap you already made. Drop the case, Judge. You got to be seeing this. I know you guys have seen these streams. I'm going to be producing more evidence against you, Judge Vandenberg. You still preside as a judge. Fix these problems that you created. I'm not asking for any kind of compensation from you, but I do want you to do your job. Show me that your judgment is not cloud. If your judgment, why are you a judge? Show me your judgment. Show me you can fix a problem. This is what you're there to do. And that would a judge to help when there's a problem. You assert the right thing. Do the right thing. Have Ted Martin drop all 3 cases and then be ready for lawsuits. That's not going to not happen. See, I'm calling the Department of Justice again. Brothers, I'm going to make a bunch of phone calls. The only person I'm going to ask you to call Monday morning is Ted Martin. That's it. One call. We're going to flood his office with calls. You'll see they won't. We've already done this before. They'll just dump your calls. They won't even take calls after a while. I've already done this. I tried to do this, did not get it pushed in the courts. They're the ones who did it, not me. I tried to settle this before they pushed it in the courts. They are going to be after the ones to take it back. I don't even have legal representation right now, which they can't. They have to go through legal to, yes, they can. The judge and Ted Martin preside over this case. I don't need legal counsel for them to present not a deal. I won't take a deal to drop the case. That's not necessary. So if you're ready to stomp on these people with evidence with me to push more evidence down on them, come back tomorrow. I'll be talking about something else, I'm sure. Is that generator still on? Yeah. Okay, I got to go, brothers and sisters. I'm burning fuel, and this is the last of my fuel. I wish I had more fuel, but I'm going to have to go get some more to keep this stream going. So it's a little cloudy, and I'm not getting the solar bank up here, so because I am off grid. So a little bit of juice here from the assistance from the generator. Normally don't have to do that, but much love and agape to the followers of the channel who have been a witness. For everybody is an evidentiary stream. Hope you see that how much evidence that I have against this county. Help me by Monday morning coming back and call Ted Martin. If you fear, don't fear. If you think that's going to get you in trouble, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but you do have the right to call and ask this county to drop these charges against me. You should go look the last 2 hours and see, should I be thrown in a cage? Should I be convicted? Go look at all my streams, okay? Find the evidence. Let the evidence speak for itself. That's what I'm going to do, and that's all I'm doing. The evidence in this case shows that Judge Vandenberg should not be a judge. He's clouded and should never serve. He should be disbarred and be removed from his position as a authority, as a judgment over people's lives. He's really presiding over. He did a horrible job in this case. I think he can fix it. Not everything, but a lot of the issues that he's got a lot more issues, because once this appellate court gets this, once this circuit, once the DOJ, once Governor Kotek gets this, I've already called all these. I tried to get these people to call me. They won't. I called Ted Martin's office just the other day before I called any of these people. So I'll call again. I won't stop calling until the feds either come out here and talk to me and start into special investigation. And remember, I said I will fight legally with a pen in my mouth till I'm dead. I'm not going to let go of this case. I got nothing else to do except for pastor the gospel. Thank you, Father, for giving me the time of day. All right. Always agape for the followers. Judge, it'd be nice to see you someday turn around and put your hands behind your back and get you out of this county. Seriously, you're a menace to society. Enjoy your shiny bracelets, and I'll be suing your bond. That was my case.